So I just got in my car. I'm in the parking garage thing. God, that food smells good, whatever they're cooking. But when I pulled in, like way over there is the entrance, and there was like a girl with like a tripod. She's by herself, and she had a tripod, and I was like, well, I wonder what she's doing. It's kind of, I get it, photography, sometimes you take some pictures in some weird areas or whatever, but I was just genuinely curious. No idea what she was doing. I went in, but I'm walking back out, and they have this, like, in the other corner, there's like a stairwell to go down, but it's like plywooded off or whatever, like sealed up. She's in there with like a ring light, and I'm really curious what the heck she's doing. So it's in there, so you can see the ring light. I don't know where she went. She was just there. Maybe we'll have to drive around. All right, I got my camera in my windshield. Let's circle around. I'm curious. Because I gotta go that way anyway. So yeah, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Right here, like I have never, these weren't boarded off for the longest time, but I have never seen anybody use these. Oh yeah, there she is. What the heck is she doing? It's gotta be doing like a TikTok or something. It has to be. But like, I'm not a TikToker. Is that how you guys do that? Like, you guys just... Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, you do. Because when I watch the videos, you guys are just in some random ass places in the middle of public. Interesting. That's like the first influencer in the wild or whatever they call it. That one Instagram account where you record people doing that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a crazy world out there, man. I wouldn't want to be a female by myself doing something like that. I don't know. I feel like this is a sketchy area too. I don't know. I could be wrong, but in a parking garage, especially over there where there's really like no traffic on the top though. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. So my mom needs help, like extending her table for tomorrow for Thanksgiving. She's got like the leaves or whatever you can put in there to make it longer, but her table's like solid wood, so it's super heavy. So she asked me to come down there. So when I let the dog OUT, I grabbed the harness. I was like, you know what? We'll walk down there because we haven't walked in a while. It's not super cold. That's where it's at. Like, I haven't touched it. I haven't made any gestures towards it. And she is so excited. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? You ready? Go put your collar on. Go put your leash on. She's like, Dad, yes, let's go. Come on, let's put it on. Okay, you gotta calm down. Hey, let me put it on, come on. I gotta put it on. Hey, come on. What are you freaking out for? You're acting like you're about to cry. Oh. She got a little thicker since she had it on last time. I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's like grunting. Come on, you be a good girl. No. She is not a good walking dog yet. Where are we at, Bailey? Where are we at? Come here.
Is she okay out here, honey? Yeah, just, I don't think there's anything she can get into.
No, she'll be all right.
Come here, I gotta
Bailey.
see. I just got home, my baby's right here.
You know who it is.
What?
She pooped right in the middle of the road.
Of course.
We're walking.
No, here, did she?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're walking, she's pulling me, and then I'm walking, she stops, she just squirt. She told me to come grab the chairs. I was like, yeah, sure. Jesus, they're under everything. Oh my God. They are literally buried. I would have not have volunteered to do this. But this is literally her cat's room. Just for the cats. Nicer than all our rooms. So, putting our tree up tonight.
I've only been telling him we're putting our tree up every single night.
Instead, we're going to the movies strictly just because we want popcorn.
I don't know what this movie's about.
No idea.
But, yep. Absolutely.
So, of course, we picked... Hang on, let me do a take of the busy theater. So we picked these ones right in the middle.
I would never switch to Samsung. I love
The literally the most worn out seat in this entire place.
Is critical because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater.
This theater's seen better days.
Everybody's clapping and shouting, except for parents. They thought she was too young.
They thought I could do better. But whoever listens to their parents.
So, to Georgia.
That's all that damn food. Alright guys, so this is just a bunch of random old clips I had thrown together. If you watched this far, I appreciate you watching. But I wanted to make this clip right now because when I sold that town car that I bought off my grandma after my grandpa passed away, I had a lot of plans for it. I was going to completely fix it up and just keep it as basically like a spare kind of road trip car because the thing just, you know, those things just glide down the road. But the car market was just skyrocketing and I didn't drive it. I didn't have the money to put into it what I needed. We were having all those issues with our plumbing and stuff like that, so I really could have used, really at the time, needed the money, and I ended up selling it. But in my listing, when I sell something, I go into so much detail, so you can learn everything you might want to know about the car, so you don't have to waste either of our times asking a bunch of questions. Because I hate when people post something for sale, they post like maybe 1 or 2 crappy pictures, and then like message for info or something like that. Like, stop being lazy, please. I don't want to have to message you to find out about what you're selling. That's stupid. I'm not doing it. So anyways, the car was in a front end wreck. So it needed, you know, a bumper cover, the bumper reinforcement, a grill, 1 headlight, hood, and like a couple other like minor things. And I had replaced everything except the bumper cover. And the only reason was because I found all the parts I needed from other town cars that were in junkyards, swapped everything over, so everything was good. It just needed a bumper cover. You could buy one for like $200 on eBay that was unpainted, ready for paint, or you could, I think it was like $400 or something like that, maybe $4.99. You could order one that was already painted and bolt it on, you're good to go. Like, I replaced everything except that bumper cover because, like I said, I paid less for all those other parts than the bumper cover cost at the time. Now, I knew if I put that bumper cover on, I could sell the car for a lot more, but I just genuinely didn't have it in my budget to drop, you know, $500 or $600 on the car and then, you know, not know when I was going to sell it. You know, it might not sell right away. It might sit for a month or two. So I sold it as is. Now, in my ad, again, I'm very specific. I put every bit of that. And in fact, the first few lines in the ad, aside was, you know, I put firm price, not going to respond to any offers because this is what I want. If you don't want it, don't waste our time. It's that simple. I don't like negotiating back and forth. Like, I put the price I want. Let's not waste time haggling. So the first, like, paragraph in the ad, you know, right under that first line was that the car was in a front end wreck. It needed blah, 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 blah. It still needs a bumper cover. And then I put the price for him. I was like, I just haven't had the time or money to, put into it. So, right off the bat, if you read anything in the ad, you know that the car was in a front end wreck. Also, when you look at the pictures, there's no front bumper on the car. So, if I was genuinely interested in the car, I would click into the description to see, like, why is the cover missing? Did it just fall off? Was it wrecked? Because 9 times out of 10, if it's missing a bumper, it was wrecked. So I get this guy messaging me back and forth for like 2 days. He's super interested in the car, and our schedules were just kind of like clashing with each other. But we finally found a time that worked. He was going to come down here, test drive it. If he liked it, he was taking it home with him. So usually, first off, you show up with 2 people. If you plan on buying a car, you bring 2 people, because one of you drives the car back that you came here with. The second person drives the car that you're buying, right? I had gotten up early, like exceptionally early, and, made sure, I went and washed the car, vacuumed out one more time, because I like my stuff to look good. I want it to look in tip-top shape. I washed the car, vacuum it out, wash the windows and whatnot, make sure everything's looking real good. And I pull it up because, we have a long driveway, so sometimes people miss it or whatever, so I wanted it, up front by the road. As I'm inside, he's already on his way here. He calls me, and he's absolutely flabbergasted that he didn't know that this car was in an accident. Yeah, he's already on his way here. We've talked for we've messaged back and forth for about 2 days. He's seen all the pictures. My description was this long, and literally the first 2 lines were explaining that this car was in a minor front end collision and needed parts, and all those parts were replaced except the bumper cover. He calls me and was very upset and confused, wondering why he didn't know that the car was in a wreck. He thought that this car was not wrecked. I didn't know how to respond. Mind you, this was, 6 months ago-ish now. So I had to explain to him, I'm like, man, that's the first line in the ad explains what happened. Insurance was totaling it out. I bought it back, she bought it back from the insurance, and I bought it from her. I replaced, this, and this. I said, from the wreck, I drove the car home. It was taken to a tow yard, but I was like, as the car sat in its wrecked condition, I drove it home. It drove straight down the road. The AC kicked on and blew ice cold. Heat still worked. Everything worked great. You would not have even known the car was wrecked if you couldn't see it. I replaced, all these parts. I said, all it needs is the bumper cover, which, again, is all the information in the ad. I was like, had I thrown a bumper cover on this car and not mentioned it, I told him, I was like, I promise, I would never do that, but I was like, I promise you wouldn't even know that this car had been in a wreck, because it was that minor, and I replaced all those parts. There's no frame damage, there's nothing under the hood bent and out of whack and whatnot. I was like, if you don't want to buy the car now, I fully understand. I said, but all of this stuff was in the ad, clear as day, not hidden, all that. So he ends up coming, still checking it out, but this car pulls up. When he gets here, one person gets out, and I'm like, well, clearly, as soon as I seen that, I'm like, I just lost hope. I'm like, clearly he's not buying it. But we took it for a ride. The dude loved it. We stopped at the ATM on the way back because he tried to, I don't remember what I was asking at the time for it, random number, I think maybe $4,000 or something like that. And he's like, well, I got $3,400 or something like that. And I'm like, I'm firm on price, man. I put that in the ad, $4,000 or whatever it was. But I was like, I'm 1,000% firm on the price, not willing to budge. Oh man, I gotta get a bumper for it, and I'm like, I understand that. That's why the price is about half of what one of these cars goes for, with 3 times the miles and a front bumper cover. It's a couple $100. Bolts right on. I have the bag of hardware right here. I was like, I'm firm on the price. So we stopped at the ATM right there. He got the rest of the money out. And then he asked me to basically, he was going to drive the town car to his house, and I follow him with his car. And, long story long, to finish it up and wrap it up real quick. That's what we did. Came back home. I drove his car. He drove the town car up basically towards like Detroit Metro Airport. Dropped the car off and then hopped back in the town car, and then he dropped me off back at home. So, to my knowledge, he was going to fix the car up right away. And, you know, I mean, he was absolutely in love with it. So it seemed like it went in good hands. But I was just like, first off, how do you communicate with somebody for 2 days about something? But you didn't even read the ad. People, read the ads. And if you're selling something, post ads. Because that makes me posting stuff a waste of time because nobody reads it, because nobody types anything. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.